They say your words shape your world. But what if I told you that the most powerful words you'll ever speak aren't the ones you say to others? They're the ones you whisper to yourself when no one's listening. For the next few minutes, I want you to forget the idea that money is something out there. Forget banks, jobs, clients, or luck. Because what if money doesn't come from the outside world at all? What if money is just an echo of your inner conversation, the dialogue you have within yourself, repeated over and over until it hardens into fact? Neville Goddard said, "Your inner speech is the cause of all future action." And that single sentence contains the secret to manifesting large sums of money. Not over months, not over years, but in just 2 days of focused inner dialogue. Let me show you how. Most people try to manifest wealth through forced visualization. They close their eyes, imagine piles of cash, and then wonder why nothing changes. The reason is simple. Their inner conversations remain the same. They still say things like, "I can't afford that," or "money never comes easily." They're imagining wealth, but talking poverty. And because creation begins with inner speech, not outer effort, their world continues to mirror the old conversation. But here's where the real power lies. If for just 2 days, you intentionally speak to yourself as though you already possess the money you desire, your subconscious begins to accept that conversation as real. It doesn't argue. It doesn't question. It simply obeys. You don't need to chant affirmations all day. You just need to replace the inner dialogue of lack with one of abundance, and do it consistently for 48 hours. So, imagine this. For the next 2 days, every time you think about money, every time you notice a bill or see a price tag, you say silently to yourself, "I always have more than enough. Money flows to me effortlessly. I love how easy it's become for me to receive." You might feel resistance at first. You might feel silly. But those feelings are simply your old identity dissolving, the voice that has kept you small, losing its hold. The key isn't to fight that voice. It's to speak over it. Neville called this process revision of the inner conversation. He said that if you change the dialogue within, you automatically change the events without. Let's explore why this works, not just spiritually, but scientifically. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you repeatedly speak to yourself in a way that implies wealth, your brain fires neural pathways consistent with that reality. Over time, those neural networks become stronger, and your subconscious begins to treat abundance as normal. In neuroscience, this is called Hebbian learning. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Meaning, when you repeatedly pair your inner speech with feelings of wealth and certainty, your brain wires itself for prosperity. You literally become someone who attracts and expects money. But what's even more fascinating is how your body follows your words. When you say, "I am rich," and truly feel it, your nervous system calms. Your body moves out of survival mode. You stop repelling opportunities with desperation. You begin to receive. And then, the world starts to reorganize itself to reflect that new frequency. Unexpected checks appear. Old debts get cleared. Someone remembers they owe you money. You get offered a job, a contract, a deal, not by luck, but by law. The law of assumption. Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption." Talking to yourself as though you already are wealthy is the fastest way to enter that assumption. Now here's the method. For 2 days, make your inner conversation match your desired state, nothing else. Start the moment you wake up. Don't reach for your phone. Don't check messages. Before you even open your eyes fully, say quietly to yourself, "Thank you, Father, for this incredible abundance. I am surrounded by wealth. Everything I touch prospers." Then, get up and move through your day as though that's your normal reality. When you eat, remind yourself, "I can easily afford everything I desire." When you see someone wealthier than you, don't feel envy, feel recognition. Say silently, "That's me. That's what my life feels like." Every word you speak internally must be an echo of the state you desire. If a negative thought arises, and it will, Don't panic. Just gently replace it. If you hear yourself say, "I don't have enough," immediately respond inwardly, "I've never been this financially blessed before." This may sound small, but remember, every inner conversation is a seed. The moment you persist in the new dialogue, the outer world must eventually bear its fruit. Neville told a story about a woman who transformed her financial situation through nothing but inner conversation. She was deeply in debt, anxious, and constantly worried about money. But after hearing Neville's lecture on inner speech, she decided to try it for herself. For 2 days, she spoke to herself as though her financial problems were over. She repeated silently, "Isn't it wonderful? I have more money than I need." She did this while cooking, walking, cleaning, all day long. By the second evening, she received a call from a relative who unexpectedly repaid a large debt she'd written off years ago. That single act cleared her bills and left her with extra money. She told Neville, "It was as if the world rearranged itself overnight to match what I had been saying within." That's how powerful your inner conversation is. You see, your words are creative forces. They are frequencies that instruct the quantum field, the invisible intelligence that responds to your state of being. When your inner dialogue is consistent, confident, and aligned with abundance, that field organizes people, events, and circumstances to deliver it. But you must persist. 2 days may sound short, but in those 48 hours, you must be completely disciplined. You can't afford to argue with your new reality. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you want to hear the music of wealth, you can't keep switching back to the frequency of lack. Stay on the station long enough, and the music plays clearly. For the first 24 hours, you'll probably catch yourself slipping into the old station, complaining internally, doubting, worrying. That's okay. Just observe it, smile, and correct it. In the second 24 hours, something shifts. Your words begin to feel natural. You don't have to force them. They start to carry emotion, gratitude, relief, even joy. That's when manifestation becomes inevitable. Because when your inner speech changes, your vibration changes. And your vibration is the invitation you send to the universe. Money is not a number, it's an energy. And energy responds to harmony. If your inner dialogue is chaotic, filled with fear, guilt, or shame, money feels unsafe in your energy field. But when your inner speech is calm, grateful, and abundant, money feels welcomed, and it comes naturally. Neville said, "Speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world." In other words, if your self-talk reveals lack, then that's the state you're living in, and that's the reality you'll continue to experience. But if your self-talk reveals wealth, ease, and gratitude, then that's the state you shift into, and the world must conform. Now, I want you to test this. Don't just listen, do it. For the next 2 days, talk to yourself like the wealthiest version of you would. When you're walking, whisper in your mind, "I'm so grateful money keeps flowing to me. I love that my income keeps multiplying. I always attract the right opportunities. Everything I spend returns to me multiplied." Don't overthink the words. Feel them. Let them become your new inner soundtrack. You'll notice something interesting happens around the second day. Your mood lightens. The world seems to cooperate. You might even see small signs, a refund, a gift, an offer, or a new idea. These are not coincidences. They're confirmations. It's the law in motion. Neville described it beautifully. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. So, if you want to manifest large sums of money, stop begging the mirror to change. Change the reflection, your inner dialogue. Now, let's go even deeper. Why 2 days? Because it takes approximately 48 hours of consistent emotional focus to begin reconditioning your subconscious mind. That's the window where your dominant frequency starts to shift. Your subconscious doesn't understand logic, it understands repetition and feeling. If you repeat new inner words for 2 days with emotion, the subconscious accepts them as truth. Think of it like planting seeds in fertile soil. The first day, you're breaking through the surface. The second day, you're watering. By the third day, you'll start to see sprouts, evidence of change. But if you stop after a few hours, or if you contradict your new words with worry or doubt, you dig up the seeds before they can grow. So commit to just 2 days. 2 days of unwavering, joyful self-talk. Remember, you're not pretending. You're not lying. You're simply choosing a new state. Neville said, states are fixed, you move through them. That means the version of you that's already wealthy exists now. You're not creating wealth, you're aligning with the state where it's already true. And your inner conversation is the bridge. Each word you speak internally moves you closer or further from that state. When you talk to yourself like the wealthy version of you, you enter that state of consciousness. And when you live from that state, the outer world can't help but match it. It's law. Now, let's bring this into practice. Tonight, before bed, close your eyes and have a little conversation with yourself. Not a wish, but a dialogue. Imagine someone congratulating you on your new financial success. Hear their voice clearly. Feel the warmth of their words. Then respond in your mind, yes, it's amazing, isn't it? I can't believe how easily it all came. Let it feel real. Let it feel natural. That single inner conversation, if felt deeply and repeated often, is enough to set creation in motion. Neville said, what you whisper in your inner conversations is heard by your world. That means every thought you repeat is a command to the universe. For 2 days, command wealth. Whisper abundance. Speak prosperity. And you'll watch as reality bends to your inner voice. You see, manifestation isn't about forcing outcomes, it's about aligning your self-talk with a version of you who already has what you desire. When you speak as that version, think as that version, and feel as that version, you become that version. And once you've become it internally, the outer world simply plays catch-up. So, the next time you look at your bank account, don't react. Don't label it as empty. That's just the shadow of your old self-talk. Instead, say calmly, this is changing quickly. I'm wealthier every day. Money loves to flow to me. Then, watch as your world begins to reflect your new language. Because when your words and your state are one, the universe has no choice but to obey.